when you're a whether you're elected or appointed position,
Mm-hmm.
there you have a higher level of professionalism. You have to meet a higher level of professionalism than a resident, right?
Absolutely.
Residents, in my opinion, residents can come get pissed off, say all kind of crazy shit if they want to, because they're a resident. But
Absolutely.
if you know what I'm saying, if you're an elected official or appointed official, your professionalism is you just take it and
Absolutely.
you respond based on what you're supposed to be doing and you address the concerns and you just keep it moving. If you don't have a thick enough skin,
You shouldn't do it.
if they don't have thick enough skin to deal with the criticism from a situation where they should be getting a lot of scrutiny, then I don't know how they would be moving on to any further type of office
Let
going
me say
forward.
that it's because neither one, well, I know Tiffany not qualified for that seat, but Keith is definitely not qualified for public office because
Hmm.
he can't take criticism. And
Yeah,
you learn that just like working day to day in corporate America. If you can't
right.
work a regular job, when somebody comes up to you and cuss you out, even though you
Yeah,
know that they dead wrong, the customer is always right. So what
right.
do you do to make things right for that person? You have to have that type of mindset. That's what
Yeah,
Keith does not have. He
yeah,
always just, oh well, I don't care. I ain't doing nothing about it. He have that type
yeah,
of mindset. But you always have to be able to get the customer to be satisfied at the end of the day, even if you can't do nothing for them. But you
yeah,
learn that just being qualified for certain positions, which he is not. That's why he
yeah,
doesn't have that type of skill set and that type of mindset to, let certain things go. I'm not at work,
yeah.
so I can say what I want to say. And now I
Right.
see that when I say stuff, it knocks you off your square. You're not built for that job.
Hmm. All right. Well, let's go to the clip. Let's go to this clip from the last board meeting, and then
No,
I wanted to pivot a little bit and talk about Dalton for a minute.
oh,
But I want to just play this clip from the township real quick here.
gotcha.
They have no concept of what's going on here.
All right, your time is up.
Your time is up too.
Time is up. Thank you.
Yet another contentious meeting in Thornton Township today. Services remain shut down after fighting between township leaders led several insurance policies to lapse.
Supervisor Tiffany Henyard got into a shouting match with fellow trustees as each side blames the other for ongoing government dysfunction in the south suburbs.
The township still remains without insurance on several major policies after they lapsed earlier this month.
Hold on, let me speak. But you hold on, let me speak. You're not paying people. Let me speak. But you're not paying people, so I got a problem with that.
Insults flying at a tumultuous Thornton Township special board meeting Friday afternoon.
First and foremost, let me say this. She sounds dumb. There's no way that you're sitting here.
That's very professional. That's leadership.
Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard throwing most of the punches, some residents not hesitating to do the same.
This woman would not understand respect if Aretha Franklin came back from the grave and spelled it out to her.
In the long run, you have made me feel like an unhappy parent. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Henyard's motion to have all bills paid, including vendors, met with opposition by trustees Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle. The self-proclaimed super mayor remains at odds with the pair who she claims have failed to do their jobs.
We need to move forward. You don't want to pay the vendors, cool. Next.
You do want to pay bills for having an amendment motion.
Right now, many township services in the government's main building remain closed. Henyard blames the lack of insurance coverage on crucial policies like auto and liability on Gonzalez and Carlisle for not showing at the meetings to vote. But they say that's not the case and they've never voted on an insurance policy before.
We don't have insurance because you two did not come and take care of your business.
And there are no insurance companies that are even willing to give us a quote.
At the meeting, the board approved insurance for several other policies like cyber and crime. With no auto insurance, questions flew about township buses that responded Thursday night, bringing people to a bingo night hosted by Henyard.
I think you're the problem.
I think you're the problem, trustee.
Meantime, other items, including an important tax levy vote, not getting the approval it needed.
Pass it the right way, pass a budget.
Henyard is calling for the removal of the two trustees and threatening to take them to court over their failure to show at meetings.
She calls a lot of special meetings that we're not always able to attend.
Meanwhile, Henyard maintains she's moving things in the right direction for the township, now left in limbo until further notice.
Before we get back to Dalton, which is one village, one town, 22,000 people. The biggest thing right now, what everybody's seeing in the news, is Thornton Township, 17 different municipalities, which make up one township. Tiffany Henyard currently is the supervisor of. and that's the caucus that happened that got her off the ballot for
Mm-hmm.
April, because there's going to be a new person in there at some point. Now,
Absolutely.
the static that she's getting from the trustees is obviously because they are trying to halt spending that they felt was not warranted, and
Mm-hmm.
spending that was off base, right?
Yeah.
So, and they're trying to avoid the same issues that Dalton had.
Yeah. And also they're trying to block her from appointing the next trustee as a
Yes.
because she has the vote. But technically her time limit is out. But we'll talk on that in a minute.
Yeah. Well, the time is ticking for her in the township, and she's
Period.
currently trying to get on the ballot through a lawsuit suing Napoleon and so on. But
At
um,
least she dropped it. I don't know if she started
it's
it back up again, but I know
okay.
that she had it was very weird, but she added Mayor Fitzgerald from the Dixmoor onto her
Okay.
lawsuit. So when she added him on there, he didn't want to be part of any political backlash from
Yeah.
supporting her. So he made a statement to Fox 32 and told them that he didn't authorize her to put him on that lawsuit.
Okay.
However, I'm just going to be very blunt and say I find it funny that he's saying that he didn't authorize that. But Tiffany plays chess. She doesn't play checkers. So she's trying to always be one step ahead of people. So when she do get something on you, she can show it to other people. So she
Yeah.
did have an affidavit that he signed for her that she had notarized by her clerk that's trying to run on her ticket. So the clerk that notarized his statement notarized it with his name, but then that's what they used to file that lawsuit with. But
Okay.
they didn't have his actual signature. So the signature that Max Solomon used, I believe, was something that either was written in or electronic, but he didn't authorize them to add his name to the lawsuit. So they had to drop that lawsuit that they had against them because I don't know if you remember, she was saying, I have a mayor that's on my side.
Yeah.
Now, what I find funny is, and we're going to talk about corruption, is Dixmoor has their own corruption issues as well.
Yeah.
And if you notice, now she's pulling everybody from Dixmoor. So she had the mayor, but he's probably just silently on her side. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think he's silently on her side. I think when Ronnie Burge went and ran for mayor, remember he ran against her. That was his
Hmm.
police chief at some point. So
Okay.
again, she's pulling these crooks from Dixmoor now. Like the next police chief that I hear she's trying to hire, I don't even remember his name, but he's another crooked one from Dixmoor. So
Okay.
it's funny that she has ties to Dixmoor undercover and Harvey undercover. So
Okay.
she's probably been paying them. I believe that she's been paying them. And there's some everybody's pockets have been lying behind her being that supervisor.
Right.
So
Right.
I believe that she's just been paying people, but I also believe that her corruption is throughout a lot of these suburbs that we wouldn't even realize.
Well, okay. So I'm gonna before we pivot to Dalton. So I listened to Jed's interview
Mm-hmm.
with Michael Smith and Keith Price.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do think that I read the comments, and I tried to get an understanding of what people felt. I do think it was a good idea objectively to interview these two people, because obviously I wouldn't say that they're enemies, but Jed obviously is not for Tiffany Henyard either. So him interviewing the two of them, I think was interesting, but I think that what was missing was clarity
Substance.
as far as their defense for the person they stand for. So I say that to say that with Tiffany Henyard, one of the things that Michael said is that there's a lot of misconceptions, and there was a question asked whether all the allegations that's come out, do you think there's any truth to any of them? And he said no. So when you look at all that's going on, I think anyone who's supporting Tiffany Henyard, look, I don't think it's a problem for people to have opposite points of view.
Right.
But I think it's you got to be able to substantiate why you feel the way you feel. And even just coming from the outside, just
Mm-hmm.
looking at it objectively, right? The question is why do you have the same problems in the township and the village, and why do you have budget issues? Are they all made up?
Hello.
Are they it's just all an illusion
It
that
is.
people have? And if there is a misconception, and if there is some level of misunderstanding, please clarify what the misunderstanding is. And it's been unclear. I mean,
Very.
I've you know, from somebody who hasn't been at the meetings, I've watched a lot of the meetings, and I look for to try to understand. I say, okay, you see the residents who are mad, you see the trustees that are mad. Let me try to understand Tiffany Henyard and the people who support her. What is their defense? And the defense I've only seen so far is that it's vague. There's a misconception. They're trying to bring down a black woman,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they just
Jealousy.
hate it.
Yeah, we're jealous.
Jealousy, and these things are too vague. These things are not something that's going to convince
Those
other
things are high
people.
school things. Let's just be
Yes,
very honest. That is
yeah,
high school things that they're bringing up because their mind is not mature enough to actually talk about the issues that we
yeah,
are addressing. So
right,
instead of them being able to talk about the issues that we are addressing, they are deflecting and just going off of their own views and what they see.
yeah,
What they don't like is that we continuously speak out against corruption. And
yeah,
what they don't want us to do is continually do that because we're putting them on public spotlight. And they want us to just continuously steal and peace. But we're
hmm
not going to allow that.